232018-694.
Ma'am, you were taking both of us the last time. We did separate today.
Yeah, I'm going to do them separate.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have both parties please raise their right hands. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I do.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Graves, would you state your name for the record?
My name is Jerrell Graves.
Okay, thank you.
Richard Lee Sauls.
Okay, thank you. So this comes before the court on Mr. Graves' request for a civil protection, domestic violence protection order. So I'll first hear from Mr. Graves regarding his request. So Mr. Graves, are you asking for a civil protection order?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your relationship with Richard Lee Sauls is that he is the grandfather of your minor child?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are the statements in your petition true and correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're indicating that on May 12th, you were at the fish house and were threatened by the respondent while loading your daughter into the car.
No, that's not correct, Your Honor. That's June 12th. There's three incidents that I'm petitioning the court for. The first is the custodial interference police report that happened May 7th, 2023. And then May 25th, he wanted me to have a conversation with him before I could get my daughter from him. And I just wanted my daughter, so I had to call the police, and the police escorted my daughter to me. And then June 12th at the fish house, he pulled up on the side of me. So we've had multiple incidents. And as you remember, because you are over our family law case, the profanity where I asked you to send an officer and you told Miss Sauls during our case that I could get a writ of habeas corpus, and you asked for Mr. Sauls' name and birthday because of the profanity that he was using while we were on Zoom. So we have all these different incidents that have taken place. And the mother said he was going through some mental health things at the time, and she cooperated and brought my daughter to the police station. I got her, and then when he does the third party, I'm under his direction. I gotta talk to him. I gotta be under his guidance, basically, to get my child that I've been taking care of for multiple years. And I don't have a kid with this man, nor do I have any business having private conversations with him when it's time to pick my kid up. It's too difficult to interact with him with all these different difficulties between us. I need a separation so I can take care of my personal life and be a parent without having to be compressed by him.
Okay, sir, and you saw the materials filed by Mr. Richard Lee Sauls. Did you have a response to those materials?
Yeah, I saw different documentations. Like for example, I'm a professional entertainer, a retired entertainer. I've been in multiple movies. They've taken clips out of movies with me holding prop guns. I've submitted my contracts for films that I've worked in Hollywood, Burbank. I've been in multiple action films, LA crime films. I've been in movies on YouTube, movies on all different channels, and screenshot pictures of me holding prop guns, trying to say that I'm a threat. Instead of showing you the full movie that's like 60 minutes, 30 minutes, they take clips. They use derogatory remarks about Caucasian providers that I have that delivered my child, saying that I'm trying to use white privilege, in quotes. I read all of his documentation, and when I tried to send him my documentation, he tried to get a petition for a restraining order because I was emailing him, reminding him that he doesn't have consent to post my photographs, saying that I'm using my church as a front, like I'm not actually in the choir. They came to my church, the father and the daughter, came to my church together looking for me and my daughter. It's just too much. You know, I have actual police reports, not CAD reports, actual police reports where the police made contact with him for the custodial interference. He refused to give the kid back, and you ordered for the mother to return the child to father. So I've read all his documentation he's presented. I don't have any police reports being violent or vigilante toward this man. I have police reports on him being that way toward me. And I feel threatened that he has a firearm every time I go to pick my kid up because I'm not on his good side. And the way he snapped on you at court, imagine how he's going to snap on me with his loaded firearm while I'm trying to get my kid.
Did you look at his materials where he's saying he doesn't have a firearm and he's providing the still photographs?
And I also turned in the photographs how he had his shirt. He has a small firearm that you can hide under your shirt. He took 3 minutes to walk from the side of his car before he ran up on me. I supplied the video to the Tacoma Police Department. They watched the video. They put in the evidence that they received the video. Also, he's being charged with harassment by Tacoma Municipal Court. He has a court date coming up where they're pressing charges against him. I feel that I need a protection order to protect me from his aggressiveness when I have to be a provider for my child. I'm going to continue to say that I witnessed him yelling at you in court.
Sir, if that's the basis for a protection order, I could probably have a whole bunch of protection orders against people that are upset at me because I'm ruling a certain way.
But the upset energy isn't just directed towards you. It's prone toward me because I am not bowing down to him because he has a firearm or been in the military, or he runs up on me very aggressive after tucking his firearm under his shirt, trying to start a fight with his arms open. I've submitted photographs of him approaching me. I've also submitted the videos to the police department, and they documented on the police report, they documented how he approached me because they've seen the video.
Well, thank you, sir. Mr. Sauls, do you have a response?
Yes, I do. He's talking about first the incidents on May 7th. He was hiding behind the bushes, and I was supposed to pick the child up. You agreed that I would pick the child and make the exchange, and he hid behind the bushes, and then said that I harassed him. And then the lady that was supposed to pick up the child, which you did not agree, she was not in any court documents to do the exchange. He interjected her into the exchange, and then she made a false statement against me, saying that I was harassing her. And no one looked at my 15-year-old son standing right by her. And if you look at the first documents, he said that the lady was holding her hands up like this. If you see the picture, and he said that she wanted the child back. That was the pickup. That was not the drop-off. And if you look at another picture, when my car's on the side of him, that was the drop-off, but he never showed up. And when I left, then he came out the bushes, and then called the police, and then told the police that I did not deliver the child. Well, I worked for DSHS for 25 years. And this woman, we went back and we did a check on this woman. She had some opioid stuff in her information. And like I said, he interjected her, and you did not interject her. And so when he interjected, she started making false statements. And then they tried to set me up then. Second time, I think.
I'll hear from you in just a minute.
I think on the second time he said that we didn't bring the child back, but we kept the child for an hour, and we were waiting at the drop-off area on one side of the building, and he was on the other side of the building complaining that we didn't drop off the child, that we was trying to kidnap the child, and we were waiting. He doesn't have any information on that. The fish house. My daughter and I were going to the fish house. Which everybody goes to the fish house. I dropped her off because it's a long line. So I went and I was pulling up. I seen someone. I had my glasses on. I have my glasses right here. I didn't see who was driving the car. But I pulled up next to him and said, I was ready to park there because he looked like he's getting pulled out. If you look at it, he had his bags in his hand already, like he was getting ready to leave. And he seen me and he said, "Get out the car, old man. Get out the car, old man." And I'm like, "What?" He's telling me to get out the car, but I had to get out the car because I dropped my daughter off behind him. And I was scared because she was trying to get a restraining order for the longest time from him. And I was scared that he's going to go after her. So I pulled over and parked really quick and got out the car. He started rushing towards me, shoving papers in my face, talking about I'm not supposed to see the kid. I'm not supposed to have any visitation with the kid. Well, I'm going to give me a sandwich. I don't know why he put the child in the car, closed the door, slammed the door, grabbed his papers, and ran towards me. Now I'm saying, how come you just couldn't leave? Why does he have to attack me, come up and get in my face and start throwing papers in my face? And Your Honor, this is the same clothes I had on during the confrontation. I wore them just to show you that this is what I had on. I didn't have any guns on me. This is exactly the same thing I had on. Shirt, pants, and everything. And then he interjected some lady in the middle of it that said that I had guns. No one ever seen a gun from me. No one's never seen a gun, but all this gun play is going. I don't know where he's going with this. The fact is that earlier I had to tell him to get out of my house. I'm his biggest threat. You know, if you look at his paperwork, he says that he's got my grandchild restricted from me too. He's got my son restricted. And he's trying to keep everyone away from my granddaughter, so my daughter doesn't have a place to go. And he's just filing consistent. And all the paperwork he's filed, it doesn't make any difference. He's got paper from domestic violence class. Those classes not even valid in Washington State. All the stuff he's got in, he's just piling stuff. And that's the fish house thing. I got proof I didn't have no weapon. I turned around. I got the transcriptions that say that was actually going on. Now, this lady said that she was in the middle of this. She is not nowhere on any of the transcriptions. And he's made 2 police reports. He made first police report on the 12th saying that he didn't have a problem. And then the second one on the 13th, he said, I had a gun. And he made that at the casino when he was supposed to be in here having a court date with you.
Thank you. Mr. Graves, do you have a response?
Yes, Your Honor. I never hide in the bushes. I stand to keep my distance so I can't get any allegations against me. Him not being able to see me and me standing there the whole time, it has nothing to do with me because I stood there the whole time. At the police station, there's a door where the police come in and out, and there are some bushes near there. But during that first visit, I had someone that I hired to monitor the safe exchange because it was our first exchange. I was intimidated to pull up alone, and I was under the impression the mother was going to be there, and I wanted a third party to prevent me from being accused of anything. And the only third party that I knew was Susan at the time, because we were currently relocating back up here to Washington, and I was trying to get somebody, and nobody wanted to participate because they were coming to our church, kind of intimidating the elders. So it was like I was running out of people, and she was the only option that I had. As far as me trying to use the court to keep him from seeing my kid, I wonder where my kid is now, because the mother's in the room with me. So, you know, I'm not here to stop him from seeing my kid. I'm here to ask the court to keep him.
Sir, I guess I'm going to ask you a question. So, there's nothing that says either one of you can't use childcare when you're, and I'll be honest, it's not great to have a child be at court and hear parents or family members getting, I mean, this child has been to court more than most adults over the age of 70.
I'm asking for a restraining order because the police had to escort my child. There's photographs of the police escorting my child because he refused to take my kid out the car. He wants me to walk up to his car. He has a gun. He always has a gun. And I feel like I'm going to get shot by this man. I don't feel safe walking up to his car, taking my daughter out of his car, especially after the custodial interference where 7 or 8 cops witnessed this man aid in the bed, the mother leave the police station with my child. They wrote in the police report. I can't make these officers write these things. Police have a due diligence that they have to do. I have nothing to do with that. The incident between me and Mr. Sauls is that I asked for him to go to drug treatment with his daughter like 2 years ago. He felt offended. We haven't been on the same rapport ever since. He makes allegations that I plant things in his home. I haven't been to his home since August 1st, 2022. I haven't been inside his home at all this year. It's almost been a year since I've been in his home. So as far as him saying he kicked me out of his home, I haven't been in his home since I worked my security job. The impression that he's trying to play is that he's a victim when I've never been aggressive. Even when you asked me to go get my daughter, I came in here gentle and respectful. I'm not hitting your podium as I'm talking. I'm staying very calm. That aggressive energy is the same energy that is making police document custodial interference, harassments, and threats. Using movie photographs of me holding prop guns when I'm a professional entertainer, posting photographs of my daughter and me on social medias to interfere with that career. All of these things are to prevent me from looking like I have been taking care of my daughter. I'm doing everything I can to avoid this man because I don't want to have a conversation with him about why I am avoiding him. He wants me to talk to him. You come to my church, you intimidate my church. You intimidate me because I feel I have to defend myself every time I'm alone with him. That doesn't make me feel like a civilized adult.
Sir, I'm ready to rule. So as I think Mr. Graves, you're aware, and I think Mr. Sauls is to a certain extent, I'm really familiar with the case because I think I saw family law parts of the case during the 3 months that I was in ex parte several times, and I recently saw a civil protection order request by the mother of the child against Mr. Graves. So I have reviewed all the evidence, and there's a lot of evidence in the court file. I have considered testimony from both parties, considered credibility, and looked at the photographs, and I cannot find, sir, by a preponderance of the evidence that Mr. Sauls committed domestic violence against you. In fact, in some sense, but this certainly would not be, in my mind, a reason to file something, but the evidence is that you're really the one that tries to incite, be aggressive, inappropriate, all of which, or the majority of which, is occurring in the presence of the child. As I indicated before, this child's been to court more than most people do in their lives. So at this time, I cannot find domestic violence, so I will deny the request for an order of protection based upon my findings, and my clerk will provide a copy of this order to both parties. The recent change in law requires that in any case that I make a denial, that I have to advise the parties that they're entitled to file a motion for reconsideration or revision. So I've made that advisement to you, Mr. Graves.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I noticed that you mentioned credibility as if my credibility is not intact here. And I just want to state this to you. When the doctors told me...
So, sir, I've made my ruling. I really have looked a lot at all the
It seems as if you have a personal problem with me bringing my daughter to the court when I don't have a babysitter because I'm losing support.
No, sir, that's not what I'm saying.
The way you mentioned me bringing my daughter to the courtroom is if my daughter can repeat everything that's going on.
She certainly hears everything that's going on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, if you want to have a seat in the pews, I'm going to call the other case.